Hi, everyone, and welcome back to round 15 of the Crescent City Cup. This is an on site live commentary coming to you from New Orleans. I am Nits Chagti, and I'm joined by Matt Canik. We're about to watch Carl Johnson go head to head with Noah Walton. Both of them incredible players, and Carl Johnson, an incredible runner. Ran into him in the gym this morning, and he was really going for it. I was like, good God, this man can run. How about you, Matt? Have you ever played either of these players?
Yeah, I've played Carl several times at the Nationals. I've played Noah a bunch online, but I don't know that I've ever played Noah in person, actually. Two very, very solid players. And with the loss from Zach Ansell last round, Carl Johnson in sole possession of first place, 11 and 3, one game up on the whole field. If he can beat this great player in Noah Walton, he's going to make a big statement. But oof, this is not the start he was looking
Love
for.
that you had to say that as he was drawing his tiles. And I mean, I had hoped this would be a runaway for him, but no, he's gonna straight up have to exchange here. What do you even do once you've been jinxed by the Matt Canik?
I didn't mean to jinx Carl. I just thought we'd have a good game here. I like this. Exchange six. Keep at least a little bit of fog of war. Keep a little bit of stability on your rack. Dropping six is the right move here. And chunk PW on the rack for Noah means chunk or whoop are the two options here. CHUNK or WHUP. Two different plays. One puts a lot of points on the board now. One saves a lot for next turn. Between chunk for 38 and whoop for 24. What do you like here, Nits?
Well, I don't even like Whoop. I kind of like him punching that option in the face. I think Punch and Chunk are both so good here. Chunk, though, with the K on the double is 38 points. So good here. Punch, 30 points. WK, I think, strangely enough, has a pretty good synergy comparatively. And I would like to see Chunk come down relatively quickly here. But I wonder what's going through Noah's mind right now. I mean, with your opponent exchanging six, you know that they drew just really, really terribly. They had nothing to go off of. What is Noah thinking about Carl's possible return? Whoop
Uh,
coming down, that's surprising to me.
Not surprising to me. You had options. I love chat pointing this out. You can either poon Carl, you can put PW in, or you can whoop him, or you can punch him, or you can just take a chunk of points right now. I like this.
A chunk of points right now.
If you can play WU together, if you could play Wood, you probably could, and if you could play Whoop, you probably should. I don't know. I
You
can't finish that
probably
one. So
should.
AAEIRRT looks like a bingo rack for Carl, but Carl's great at the words. He's not going to spend a lot of time looking for the bingos that are not possible for him. But a challenging turn here for Carl. Feels pretty natural to fish an A or maybe two A's. It feels natural to play AR somewhere, but REATA plays as a four overlap for 25. We'll see how much of this rack Carl blows up, how much he wants to keep in tow here. These are challenging turns. Curious what the approach is from Carl.
Yeah, I kind of don't want him to blow up this rack. I just want him to fish off RA. I mean, just RAW raw for 8 points. That leave is so great. This board is so young. That P looks ripe for the taking. I mean, he's going to have a good time if he's able to draw into a bingo with this. Rayada would be 25 points with IR. Definitely a good play. I think raw for me would be the play here. I'm not sure how he's feeling about this board, though. Is Carl more of a defensive player? Is he more looking for an aggressive kind of open board? I'm not really sure if he wants to go straight for that bingo or just go through the tiles, get this game over with.
Carl is just a good player. He doesn't necessarily have a style from what I've discerned. He just plays well. I like this decision. I want this game to go down to skill. I want this game to go down to the end. I want to think all game. If you make these fishing plays, you really decrease the degree of difficulty for everybody. Either you hit the fish and you win, or you miss the fish and you lose. I like this approach. Uh, Even against a player as good as Noah, I would take my chances here. I'm not letting the tile bag decide this game. I want to beat Noah Walton myself.
Well, in this case, he's given Tilebag 5 chances to give, luck a try. And in this case, I think RAW would have been fine. I think Riata is fine. They're both good plays. I think it just depends on your style in this position. Whack going down, like one of Noah's clear best plays. He also could have done Chant in that same position, but Whack is really, really good. So good on him for getting that W off his rack. He's got the CK off. Good for him.
Man, you whooped Carl on the first turn, you whacked him on the second turn. Check the Wigpo code of conduct because I think Noah needs to be ejected from the tournament. I don't think those behaviors are kosher. All right, I'm done with these jokes.
Okay, okay, you say so, and I'm gonna catch you doing that again, and then you're going in timeout.
All right, so the play of whack from Noah has one key drawback, and it's that whack has a number of back hooks, not just an S, but it does take a Y. It takes
And
an
an
O as
O.
well, and Carl's got the O on his rack. So other options for Noah last turn, perhaps KHAN. Setting up his S was a better choice because it doesn't give back as much, but holding the W would be so hard for Noah to do. His choice has a consequence, and that consequence is going to be giving Carl some points here. I think Brio or Biro, Biro, are going to come down with Wacko this turn.
I don't know, man. I mean, because Brio keeps ITT, and Biro also, the same tiles keeping ITT 30 points, which is really, really nice. And he's got it off to the side, but God, it'd be so good if he just played Obit. It's 3 fewer points, but you really don't want to double that T. I think Brio is a good play here, but I definitely, definitely prefer Obit here.
Rio, the option from Carl holding ITT, keeping the double R intact, drawing the pain and ire of Nits in the booth. But I'm okay with Brio here. Yeah, I'm okay keeping the double T's right now and not giving too much back. But oh man, ITT, a dreaded combination.
Yeah, you don't want those teas. And the good thing for me is that current North American Scrabble champion Mac Miller agrees with me. So that means I am currently in the seat of alpha commentator. Matt, you go into timeout.
Ah, Sigma commentator, I'll do my own thing. Where's the timeout corner? I'll bring my laptop over there and I keep commentating now. Point me in a direction. It's
No, you know what? I like having you around. I guess we're just going to have to stick together. This is just what besties do.
just what besties do. I was excited. I thought we might get to go into the bathroom. It smells so good at a Scrabble tournament all the time. Be banished back there, but no. All right,
Nope.
geez,
You
this is
just
this.
get to hang out with your friends and enjoy a
All
great
right,
game.
hang out in the hallway of the brewery. I like it. All right, tough turn for Noah. Dignnst. This would be so easy if you got one more vowel last turn, but a
Yeah.
tough rack for Noah. I think we're going to see him cash in the S. I just don't know where. Wackos and Sting or Brios and something. I don't know if he's going to take the triple word out of play or take the Wackos spot out of play, but I think Noah's got to burn the S here. He could try to grind it out by playing through the R and Brio with a word like grind, perhaps, but I think he got to cash the S here.
Or if he's feeling dangerous, he fishes. I mean, I guess he could do PANT pant through the PA that's already on the board, or he could exchange DN, keep Sting. But here's the thing with Sting, right? Like you're hoping your bingo's going to end in an S because where are you going to put an ING bingo on this board? So pant might be fine here, but I think maybe cash in that S, perhaps. Pant is just so few points, like it's just 6 points. And Noah's like he's really seems to be
Deep in thought.
deep in
This is a
thought.
hard turn. I'd be deep in thought too, but yeah, you got to go with a gut call. What do I want to block? What's the big threat? Do I think I'm going to hit this fish? Do I want to play PANG or is that actually crazy? This is a really hard turn. Noah's deep in thought, and he should
This is
be.
terrible. This is a rough, rough, rough move. He wants one of those vowels that Carl just keeps him to drawing into. What do you do here when you're Noah? Well, for if you're Noah, you're gonna sit there, you're gonna contemplate, you're gonna try and get yourself out of the stressful situation, try to just tunnel in on what's important, go back to the basics, and just decide what do you want to do. So I think he just seems to be mired in thought, trying to decide between one thing or the other. I don't think he wants to give up on that S right now. Maybe he's just going to decide to fish. I think that would be really interesting if that happens.
One more really interesting play Noah has, and I bet this is the one that's making him hit these pained expressions. Panting, Panting, is a weird play, but one that the longer I look at, looks good if I'm very confident in my words. If I know 100% panting does not take any hooks, it doesn't take the S. Panting sets up this board in such a way that my S is powerful and every other rack is abysmal. It's so hard to score on the board after panting. So maybe that's what Noah's thinking about here. Instead of fishing and playing short, just playing a bunch of defense, setting up a board where S's are huge with an S in my hand. Panting is a cool
Wow.
option.
That's incredible. That's really, really creative. um, that's hard to do anything with. I think it just depends on what kind of player Noah is. I mean, is he the kind of player to just go ahead and block up that board in the situation? Does he want to make this easier on himself? Keep this a playable board. I mean, he retains that S as you mentioned. He's the only one right now, as we know, who's going to be able to take advantage of the whoop hook. Oh my gosh, what is he to do? What is he to do? Noah's looking at this board. He looks so, I mean, just deep in thought. Just
He might have fallen asleep.
he has not fallen
I'm
asleep.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, this is a really tough turn, and
Imagine
Noah.
being on like table one and like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a little narcoleptic, so like wake me up.
Oh man, yeah. Competitive Scrabble's so boring, even the players fall asleep. I'm just kidding. Okay, no, this turn is yeah. Noah springs awake, had some revelation. Oh no, he's just
And
turning the other way. God, this
right,
is a really, really, really hard turn, and there's so many different lines that all make some sense, but all also look crazy.
right, right, absolutely. This is hard. I mean, you see that ing, you kind of want to keep it and you don't want to get rid of it, but you also don't want to be fishing. You don't want to like be hoping constantly for a bingo. I mean, the thing with pant is like the amount of times you draw into a bingo is so high. It's higher more than any of the other. Well, also like if you exchange just DN, like your chance of bingoing is so high. Your opponent's probably like scoring similarly no matter to if you're playing sting or sign or pant. Well, you know, at this point, I'd say just make a decision. And I love that he's gone
Ding.
ahead with ding.
Ding. So, I guess the fight is over. You whooped him, you whacked him. Ding. There's the bell. This brawl is over. Noah on top by 4 points. Game over. He wins. Just kidding.
Game over, he wins.
FIIILTT, the horrible draw for Carl. He can play through with TITI and BI for 12. He can exchange. He can play gift holding IILT for 16, but this is a big sad. I don't know what Carl should do here. I don't think you can exchange, but this is going to stand to be a brutal turn for Carl.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the thing. Is he sniffing something from this move? So maybe he plays something like TD. Maybe he like leaves that completely alone and just like sets himself up. Or wait, he's identifying gift. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So with gift there, GI is still a word. And right now we know that there is no like ing bingo or like ng bingo for Noah should gift come down. But like if he had, that would be kind of incredible. He sees TD as well. I mean, that's to be expected. This is Carl for you. What does he do? What does he do?
TT is a more equitable play. Oh, he's looking at INTI through the N and ding as well. If you're going to play on the right side of the board, I think you've got to play gift. Ding has so many back hooks that take EOSY. I'd be worried about bingo opportunities for Noah. I would at least try to knock out some of the big plays through that G. I'd play gift here over NT if you're going to make a play over there.
I mean, you really got to hope that that play is somewhat obstructing Noah, right? I mean, if he kept another G, which you can kind of reasonably assume that he didn't because of like you get out your G whenever you can, right? Like you want to hope that you're not getting hit back with another ing bingo, and he's just played off ing, so chances are pretty low. Gift might be safe enough, or maybe you're just supposed to, yeah. Like even if you maybe the sleeve is just so bad that you just have to play gift no matter what.
Carl's going with TT. No, yes, no, yes, no. NT. Now he's got the tiles for NT set up. And this is splitting hairs. Each of these plays is within about a point of each other. So Perhaps just getting something on the board, going with your gut and progressing the game, the move. Inti just 8 points for Carl, but it is going to be the most flexible leave for him. Carl now ahead 63 to 59. Noah with the CG combination. Those are going to thwart his efforts to get a bingo down on the board. And again, we'll see Noah Walton with the decision. Do I cash in the S? Skag and Brios is 32 points, or do you fish? Now that Ding and the Dinge and Ding's hook are yours, the whoops spot is still available. Fishing just Sig for 12 through the INNT is a very reasonable play. Will Noah fish or will he cash the S? We'll stay tuned and watch, but I am a pretty anti fish commentator, and even I think I'd take the fish here.
You know what? I mean, I wonder if he's gonna just end up playing something like Gang through that G of Ding. I think that would be really interesting because that's gonna block Carl Johnson's bingo of Flatling, and I think Gang is a pretty reasonable play here. CEST is such a great leave. I think Noah's gonna consider it as one of the top plays here if he's not considering, CIG Sig, the fish that you just mentioned. I think that'd be really, really fun to see come down because I want to see what Carl does in response should Gang really play on this board.
Gang would be devastating. It would block Fatling. If Skag and Brios comes down, Flatling is going to be even more points. It's going to be on a triple word instead. And flatling is a word that not every player in this field knows or finds. I've never seen it until right this second, but Carl's not every player in this field. Carl is among the very best players in this field. Carl has definitely seen that word, and I would be shocked if Carl misses it if he's given the chance. Gang would obstruct all those
Wow.
chances. Sig, though, I think this is his best play here. You can never know what your opponent has, but this is a big swing in the game.
And Flatling coming down basically immediately, which is exactly what you expect from Carl Johnson. There's a reason why he's a game ahead of everyone. There's a reason why he's leading and why he's on table one being streamed right now. Great play, 78 points under Carl's belt just pretty much immediately. That's what you like to see.
Yeah, I mean, surgical precision from Carl, and we've come to expect this from him. Carl's so good at the words, but also so good at the strategic portion of this game. He is one of just two players who comes out after he's on stream and just asks me candidly, like, what do you think? Anything I missed? Anything I could have improved? And he's not doing it to save face or to check his ego, but genuinely just because he's curious. Could I have played better? I want to learn. He's a scholar of the game, a student of the game, and genuinely curious about every position he plays. That's what makes him so dangerous. He's always learning, always improving, always reiterating in his head. He's just a talented individual, too. In addition to all of his Scrabble success he's had recently, he's a fantastic musician. If you haven't seen any of his videos on the internet, definitely find some of them. He writes music, he performs music, he plays music. Just man of many, many talents, but Scrabble is one of them, and he is quite good at it.
And he's drawn into some really great tiles. Once Noah plays his bingo here, he's probably going to play something like Tajines or Ingates or something. That's actually going to block Joey, Joey, to the side of Flatling for Carl. Ingates coming down 75 points. I mean, it's a good play. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to bingo, you want to move on. Great for him, and sad for Carl, who can no longer play Joey where he wanted to before. Now, however, he still has the play of Joy to the lower left quadrant of this board, making BY of Brio. He does keep an F, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
Playing Joy and BY makes me really want to hold my nose. There are four or six unseen O's and a gazillion unseen E's. The odds that my opponent can just underlap Joy for like 45 and shed a bunch of bad tiles, it's far too high. Noah doesn't actually have a great stack. He'd have to play VOE. But that's just with this unseen pool, a play like Joy is not something I'd expect Carl to make.
What
But
would you want to play instead?
all of his options seed stuff. Oh man, yeah, every single thing is not good. JEON in the top right corner making FE and LO has exactly the same weaknesses. An O and you get punched in the face really hard. If you play JOEY and BY in the bottom corner, perhaps that's actually more palatable. You know you're seeding 30 or 33 down from that J most of the time, but you're going to see it even more if you play Joy. So I think if you're going to play with BY, Joey is better than Joy.
That's fair. I mean, you're not expecting the overlaps. You can hope that your opponent's just going to hit something for maybe 30, not much more than that. We know that Noah's not going to have the greatest response, but Joy does come down. That's interesting. He probably just wants to hold on to that E right now, keep himself slightly flexible. There are many, many, many E's to be drawn, so I see the argument for playing off that E. Like I see the argument. There's no dearth of these vowels.
Gian in the top right corner may have been a better idea because if it does get overlapped, then you hold the Y to hit JOY and complete the staircase, claim that triple word, and not get hit back. It is winning a sim by about 3 points. Gian is over Joey and about 4 points over Carl's choice here, so maybe a little imprecise, but sometimes you play your gut. Carl's gut said, I'm not going to get hit for 50, and he is correct. He's only going to get hit for about 30 here.
All right, good for Noah. He's playing his best move here. I mean, you want to get that V off your rack. You have so many E's. Definitely get rid of that. And an O is not as great as an A. Go ahead, play VOE. Really well found. Pretty much an obvious play. And now it's Carl's turn to decide what to do with this rack that looks so close to a bingo that he has to consider. Okay, am I gonna blow up this rack or am I just gonna play a few tiles? If he does something like so the game is even, which is something that we've come to expect from the games that we've seen today, the one blowout being the very first game of the day, and every single game since then has been neck and neck, yet again a neck and neck, basically tied game, where perhaps, I mean, Carl chooses to do something like info through the eye of flatling. He's just opening the board up just a little bit, keeps REAT, which is more bingo prone, but instead perhaps he does Freon, Freon, where Jeon would have gone, breaking up that rack, keeping AT still a good leave, and that's 30 points instead of 21 of info.
A lot of players are drawn right away to a play like Info. It scores 21 points. It holds AERT, and like generally that checks all the boxes for what you're looking to do here. But AERT on this board is not a very strong leave. You're looking to bingo to the G and in gates a lot of the time, so you want an I and an N, not AERT. You're looking to bingo starting in an S to hit that bottom row of this board. Well, you don't have an S. And good players like Carl, they're not going to make fish type plays unless they've also got space, opportunity, or tiles that will allow them to bingo next turn. Freon to me looks like a stronger suggestion. Just take the 30 points now, break up the nucleus because the nucleus isn't going anywhere on this board, and take 3 shots to try to, or 5 shots rather, to try to draw one of those S's and unlock the bottom of this board.
Right. I do think that info gives the opportunity to bingo from the F or like through the O. The O bingo is not going to score as much unless it starts with the O and like hits the triple, but definitely the F. However, I can see, oh, info does go down. Interesting, interesting. Both info and Freon like pretty close in their merits. I think info is a perfectly fine play, and Carl has hit the clock. Freon would have been nice to see as well. Really high scoring move that.
Man, with 3 S's and 2 blanks still in the bag, I think playing 5 tiles was a better choice there for Carl, but it's a close play. I would have looked for some extra turnover and some extra points in that situation. We'll look at Noah's rack, ADEEEIL. None of those S's or blanks are on Noah's rack right now. And we'll see how many of these tiles he looks to play off. I think some shorter plays, LEE, make a little bit of sense if you want to shell out for a bingo. But yeah, Noah's got the right idea here. EIDE for 27 is just sick. Scores really well. Still keeps you in bingo range most of the time. Slam dunk. I think there's no
Beautiful,
reason to take more
beautiful.
time here. Noah surgical
Yeah.
as always.
And Carl has drawn into that bingo that he wanted. He has played info and he's given himself a spot to play it. Now, perhaps it's not a 70-point bingo, it's not an 80-point bingo, but it's still a bingo. And, a bingo, bongo, bingo, we like to see those. 61 points for Baronets, a baby bingo, as we call them, so high probable. And I think Carl's going to play that relatively quickly once he realizes that there's not much to play through on this board, and fantastic. We love to see it. We just want to hope he spells it correctly. He catches himself. There we go. He's going to count that in. And we are moving back and forth so quickly in this game. Just really beautiful to see.
Boy, that was the last thing you wanted to see if you were Noah. My opponent's going to bingo. Okay, sure. But you're not going to use either of the blanks. Oh, God. You're going to reach into the bag and you have 7 chances to get one of those 2 blanks. And I drew QY. This is a big swing in the game. Noah's got to feel this one starting to slip away. And Even though he's got the Q, the only thing he can do with it is play QI for 11 points from the I and in gates. He's going to have to hold on to the Q here this turn, and I'm curious to see how many of the tiles on his rack
Oh
he
my
opts to
god,
play. I think just FEY. Oh my God, Carl
it
did
came
find
true.
both of them, both
Wait,
blanks.
oh my god, you like anti-jinxed Carl. You kind of jinxed Noah when you were like, oh, like my opponent's gonna go into the bag with the blanks. Wow, okay.
I told you it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Magic.
That I mean, your prophecy skills are just like beyond my understanding. I gotta take like lessons from you. This is awesome.
You just got to play friggin' 4,000 games at tournament Scrabble, and then you see all the patterns. You'll get it.
You see all the
Just
patterns of exactly what tiles come out of the bag.
yeah, you'll understand. Yeah, it
Thanks.
all makes sense.
You sound like
Just
such an old man.
I
Like you
am.
kids, when you get older, you'll understand.
How long have you been playing in Scrabble tournaments, Nits?
Since I was 10, so about 17 years.
I've been
Yeah.
playing for 20. Checkmate.
Oh,
Alpha
oh,
commentator.
three
Go to
years.
timeout, Nits. All right.
Oh no, I have been sent to timeout. What am I gonna do from here? Except suggest to play a Fey, Fey, perhaps, from the
Yeah.
F of info.
Yeah.
YE is also perfectly fine, just fewer point. Oh, YEA. Interesting.
So the A is going to help you eject the Q. QADI is like more likely, but the only place QADI is going to play is to the I and in gate. So I actually like Noah's idea. Play one more tile here. Give myself one more chance to draw an I because QI and QI next to in gates is a play you actually want to make. QI ejection for 11 is not. So I like the decision. Pass Fey, put one more letter on the board.
Right.
Neat.
Right. Interesting. I feel like Faye. I don't know. Like I'm a little partial towards Faye, but I mean I see the reasoning behind this. I think you've broken it down really well. And on to Carl, who I think honestly could just dump MM. Those are the two tiles that are not doing him any favors right now with those two blanks, that Z, that R, the N that he's got really juicy tiles. Just MM being a word is such a lifesaver for him right now. I think he can just dump it on the side, the
Mhm.
top right corner of the board with Fem.
No, you can't just dump it because MM has 3 front hooks, and one of them you don't have to worry about so much, although it's pretty sick. But MM takes 3 front hooks, an H, an M, and a U, and there's 3 unseen U's plus a Q out. I don't know if
I
I
don't
play
know.
MM and seed Qua, or even just QI and MI, I'm gonna be really grumpy next turn. MM is not a play that you can just pull the trigger on here.
I don't know, it doesn't give you so much space. Like you can't fit a word like opaque here. So maybe like a word that ends in QUE or like QUI, QUA. Maybe it's just like, is it really that dangerous?
If I play MM and then he plays Qua, I'm gonna tilt so hard that I can't win the game.
Really?
Yeah, that's just me. I can't control my emotions over the board. I'm sure Carl can.
Because I mean, it's only 43 points. I mean, I don't see it kind of like as a, oh my God, this is such a huge doozy. How did they play, like Kaziks or whatever? I mean, it's not really setting that up here. I don't know. I mean, I think between our levels of like risk, like I guess risk taking, how much we're comfortable with risk, I would be fine with playing MM. I mean, I'm so happy keeping NRZ that I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll take it. Like my next turn is going to be fine anyway. I
If
don't
you
really care.
if you play MM and draw an E, you can play Z blank blank E and play Zyme for like 70. That's a Galaxy Brain setup.
Oh my
Carl's
God.
gonna do it. Yeah, uh, there are no other good options here. Like MM, I do actually think is the correct play, but it's not when you pull the trigger on. It's when you think for a long time and then finally opt to make. And that's what Carl does here. Let's see if he gets the E. ZYME or Z blank blank E, making MMM. Will we see it? Is it possible? No, QI. DOE.
And DOE coming
DOE.
down
Okay.
very, very, very quickly. Very clinical, as we have seen with Noah's plays so far. He's just identifying his top moves and going for it. He's not taking too much time with plays that don't need all that thinking, which is great for him. He needs to have this for later.
All right. Carl, I think, has a straightforward turn here. Just COZ down from the C. It does take the back Y, but there are no unseen Ys, and Carl's got both blanks on his rack. So cause and then just sit there until you draw a cozy bingo. That, yeah. Slam dunk. Great job, Carl.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah.
All right,
Oh my
Carl wastes
gosh.
no time. Surgical, again, the word we keep using, but a word that's so appropriate for how good these players are and how well they're playing. Noah now AEHQLUU. I don't know if it's actually right to play the Q here. He's got great overlaps. QUALE as a 5 overlap is on the left side of Ingates right now, but just UH and YEAH is also solid. It holds Quail for next turn. So, well, Noah with a big decision here. Do you play the Q yet or do you stay patient? That's a big
Here's
one.
Oh, sorry
Go
for
ahead.
interrupting. But here's the thing, right? Like I'm jumping the gun here. That's a really good consideration about UH versus Quail for later. The thing is that if I'm Noah, I've seen my opponent play two tiles twice now. I have seen them play two tiles after getting a really great bingo, where they've gone into the bag with like the two blanks, and I'm thinking the possible plays where they're going to play a bingo is either like under cause, right? Or it's going to be to one of the floaters of in gates. Which one do I want to stop? And I think it makes sense for him to want to stop Quail right now. Sorry, to play Quail right now to like take all those floaters out of the running.
Yeah, it's really sick. The one thing though is Noah's down. I wonder if you want to play equal here. That just seems really annoying. You leave Cozy on bottom, you float the
Oh.
E on top. I don't know that it's time for Noah to be that aggressive. He's only down 13 in a turn, but I do think it was appropriate. Yeah, he's a long shot to win the game. I don't know. I think equal also made a lot of sense. Quail made a lot of sense, but anyway, Noah opts to play Quail. If he draws the blank, he looks really smart after that. But we know both blanks are on Carl's rack, and Carl now put to the test. There is one playable bingo here for him, Paronym, P-A-R-O-N-Y-M. That's the only one that plays with Cozy. There are others that play for fewer points, making OES. But will Carl find Paronym? That's the question right now.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anyone who's going to find it, it's going to be someone who's on table one ahead of the game. And now that I do think about it, once Paranym comes down, right, and he has it on his rack, we're going to see it come down immediately. I guess maybe is slightly better. I mean, after Paranym or like after a bingo goes down under cuz there's really no place for Noah to make a comeback, is there? Like, I mean, what is he supposed to do now?
Yeah, he's just
This
he's
is
sunk. He's gonna look at the unseen pool too. Now that we've got it updated, like, oh my god, there's more bingo prone stuff, and Carl just drew it. Even if I try to open, I won't be able to draw a bingo. My rack is so bad, I can't exchange. And yeah, Noah's got to realize he just loses. That happened.
this is crazy. Ooh, but like the unseen tiles are so nice. I wonder if Carl's gonna give us a 9-letter word somehow.
Oh god, Steeler, what a pull. I mean, we knew it was gonna be good, but that's filthy.
That is awesome.
Could we get a
Wow.
9 sighting? I don't see a
I
line
don't
for one,
know.
but
I mean,
Carl's really good. We'll
he is
see.
really good. Uh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow.
Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
basically it for this one. I can time for Noah to optimize spread a little bit, but you've got to look at that pool and know that you're done. There's not a way
Oh
to
boy.
draw a bingo this turn. Your rack is so bad.
But here's the thing, right? You look at that pool, you're like, oh, my opponent probably has something good, but maybe I could also probably draw something good. And then if you do draw something good, where do you play it? Like, is there any way for him to make an opening? And even if he does, I mean, Carl's gonna have the first shot at it, right? Like, even if an opening comes down, there's a for a bingo line or something like that. Yeah, he just can't. He has to play. Ugh, that is 30 solid points. That's, I mean, it's gonna stem that flow of the blood with this game getting ahead of him. It's just tough. I mean, it seems like Carl is doing that run in a way that we were expecting him to do.
Yeah, all right. So UH from Noah, he's not even going to try to open the board, and he shouldn't try to open the board in that instance. He's just going to hang on, keep the spread as close as possible. Man, Carl Johnson, 12 and 3 in this really strong WoW field. What a start for him. Already one game up on the field, knocking off one of the best players and sending him 3 games back with just 5 to play now. Carl setting himself up, playing his way to a victory here. This is Carl's tournament to lose.
And I do think that it'd be interesting if during this time Carl is like maximizing his spread. You know, what if he's able to set himself up for like an out bingo, because he's probably still drawing into some really, really nice things as long as he avoids that VUX. You know, maybe even the U would be fine here. So, chat, for example, has suggested this incredible play of AE on top, making a buy and ER. And would that possibly set Carl up for something cool?
I
Can he
mean,
draw into? Um, he possibly can. You
yeah,
know,
if he plays AE, he's got a number of draws he can bingo, but he also potentially seeds bingos back after that play. You know, Voiders or something is in the pool. I'd feel really dumb if I play that, draw the X, and give up Voiders, but I'm still going to hang on and win. So if you want to try to make this a 150-point victory, you can try to open fish for the other bingo here. If you're Carl, you can see he's got some
right?
devious plans in his head right now. Look at that confidence right there from Carl. Do I fish for another bingo? Do I try to drop 500 or that's too greedy, isn't it, Carl?
Yeah, I
Let's just
don't
make a play.
know. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna do
Zeals.
that.
Yeah,
Zeals makes a lot of sense.
you can't
Makes
lose after Zeals.
Yeah, Zeals, Zetas. Yeah, they're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I punched in the entire unseen pool, all 10 of those tiles. There are no bingos that fit on the board currently. Carl would have to open a line to give Noah anything with any rack Noah could possibly have. I just play Zeals and win the game. Don't open any new opportunity. This makes sense for Carl.
Or do something like play Elk ELK to the K of Wacko and wait for Noah to open the board up for himself and then just take advantage of that. But the K of Wacko, that Elk, 20 points, Zeals is going to score him quite a bit. He's not losing this game. 29 points, keeping ERT. I mean, he's got 6 tiles on his rack after he pulls from the bag.
Elk is a play I would make against a player I have a little bit less respect for, or I expect to make mistakes. A player as good as Noah is not going to open the board after you play Elk. He's not going to give you that opportunity. So Carl showing a little respect to Noah, like I'm not even going to fish for it because I know you're not dumb enough to give it to me. I'll just take my points and sip my water bottle and coast to a 12-3 start.
Just incredible game from Carl, incredible game from Noah. I mean, he has just been clinical in his accuracy here. It's sometimes the draw is the draw, like what are you really supposed to do? And for Noah, this board has kind of like gone away from his control. He isn't able to come back here, which kind of, sucks for him, honestly. I think at best he's just gonna have to, get a lot of points wherever he can, or like try to play his best. Oh boy, like where even is his best out? So, does he have a possible good place to set himself up for an X? Hmm.
I don't think there's going to be a good X setup on this board. This board is one of those that just kind of has a diagonal line drawn across, and we never
Yeah.
got to the top or left, and none of the good squares are available. No, it can't do anything
Right.
fun.
Hmm.
Well, we did need a game that had a little bit less drama so we can get Thank You Train rolling once again. I will take the opportunity here to do it. If you're tuning in just now, this is the first time we've done it. If not, we're going to do it again. Sorry for repeating some names, but the thank yous need to be a flow because this tournament is so well run and so fun for all 146 of us who came out to participate in it. Massive, massive kudos to the team who puts the Crescent City Cup together. Everybody involved with WGPO and with COCO, the two organizations who work together to organize this tournament, but especially to the organizers and directors of the tournament, Lindsay Shin, Austin Shin, Lila Crotty, Tim Fukawa Connolly, Kate Fukawa Connolly, and our stream team, Christian and Andrew. They do so much work for so many months to put this event together so we can all come and party it up in New Orleans. Truly a dream team. Hats off to them. Thank you to them. And you can make their day by showing up to this tournament next year when they put it together in 2026. If you're not here this year, hope to see you here.
Well said. Well said. I'm still trying to figure out what Noah should be doing here. I'm trying to figure out if there's any way for him to get rid of that X for a few points this game. I mean, maybe we'll see like a really drawn out end game. Maybe we'll see Noah try to make a good spot for his ex. Is there a way for him to dump it on this board right now? I don't know. I feel like he has to save himself from being stuck with it, right? Like I feel like he's so like if he plays something like Ruer, like Ruer, from the R of Reata to the R of Brio, he's giving himself a spot for XU because right now being X stuck would really, really be an unhappy time. You really don't want to do that for your spread.
I think he's already X stuck. Ruer is the only way out. I think Ruer is unblockable.
Is it now?
Hang on, what is going on here? Yeah, so if Ruer is an unblockable X setup, I don't
Yes,
think there's
it
anything that can
is.
be done. But unless you see Ruer, Noah's just eating the X here. What an absolutely bonkers endgame for no reason. Okay, so there was no suspense. Let's find an X stick situation. I can't think of
This
the last time I've seen an X stick, or if I've ever seen an X stick.
this um this lexicon does not allow him to play as many words as he would be able to so that he get himself out of the X stick. I'm afraid Ruer might be the only place where he's able to get that X down. Is he? I mean, if he gets stuck with the X, can we get Carl stuck with the V? So like, what if he takes over the? Is there a way for him to get Carl stuck with a V? Like, would we see a six pass if you
No,
know?
no, Carl's got tons of plays. He's got vote and RE. He's got VELA to the LA. Carl's not going to get V stuck, but Noah's
Right.
U stuck unless he sees Ruer. He's got EUX set up, but that's not going to go anywhere.
So let's
Man,
see.
X stuck unless you find the unblockable bailout.
Yeah,
Noah can do it. Will he do it down 100 points in a game where he's dead? I don't know.
interesting.
Oh, Ruer's
Interesting.
not completely unblockable, but the only blocks give back other plays that still eject the X. Yeah.
Just nothing great for Noah here. I mean, I guess Ruer is his kind of one-ish shot here. Rough. I don't want to be in this situation, right? Like I don't want to be um you know on table one with 2 minutes on my clock having to find the only place where I can create a setup for myself for an X. Just really tough to be in this situation.
Man, RUER is galaxy brain level play. I wonder if there's. It is the best in game too by 5 points. Um, just absolute galaxy brain. I wonder with 10 minutes and all the time in the world, which Scrabble players actually find the best in game. Nigel does. Who else?
Possibly Dave Wiegand.
Possibly Dave Weekend. Yeah.
I feel like there was a video by Will Anderson about end games, and it showed the difference between players who had, like what percent of perfect end games they play. It seemed like Nigel was like leagues ahead of the other top um, players in the world. Oh my God, he finds it.
He did it.
He
Oh my
did it.
god.
Oh
If
my
there are three
God.
players who find the Ruer sequence, it's Nigel Richards, Dave Wiegand, and Noah Walton. That's incredible.
Wow.
Down 100, dead in the water, stuck with the X, finds the one way to make an unblockable setup so he can
Incredible.
eject it. Galaxy Brain. Noah is so good at Scrabble. 9 and 6 does not reflect the caliber of player he is. That's so, so impressive.
Just really, really, really beautifully done. Wow. Just
That's so impressive.
And great job to Noah for sticking this out. I would be so ready to just give up at this point. I'd be like, I don't know, like maybe I'll just be stuck with the X. That's just how it goes. And he's just not standing for that. Love to see it. Love to see that.
The craziest part is I think we're still going to see this game come down to a stick. Hey, I've got to solve this like 6 turns out at a time now. This is so convoluted.
So right. So we are gonna see Vert2 as Jelamoka suggested, and after that goes down, possibly
All right.
decks from Noah.
Man, I still just shocked Noah actually thought to do this, and now Carl's gonna have to think through, oh, he can play Virtue, but then I see Dex back, and wow. Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay, he's doing it. He's doing it.
Yeah.
Accidentally now giving Noah a place to play Dex.
Not accidentally. He's just gonna do it anyway and go
Well,
out
I
next
mean,
turn.
before Noah could only play XU, and now
Right.
he can play X and his
Yeah,
D.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Giving Noah a slightly better play, but then Carl's gonna go out and one. So get the game over with, stick Noah with all of
right.
those other tiles.
Just, I mean, yeah, Dex and XED, the only two things that he can really do here. Well, he could also do like Rex, but I mean, getting that D out is so much better than the R.
Wackos and SO gonna be Carl's out. Wow. Cool game. And the scores are going to end up anagrams of one another, 463 to 346 if everything happens as we think.
No, okay. I was like, wait, hang on. What if he? No, he needs to get rid of that X.
Well, Noah was throwing all the punches at the beginning. He got a whoop and a whack in, but then the bell sounded, and it was all Carl after that from Ding on. So in Wackos, the final play, 463, 346, and we'll cut to the overhead mic.
463 to 336. 346? Oh, I might have misadded something somewhere. Yep, there it is. Yeah, 346. Right now, I'm sorry. Again? You all right? Let's do everything. Or better.
Very weird end game.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it was a nice little setup there. Remember the X? You can catch a break with it. One more after this.
All right, well, not much of a postmortem from this one. Carl's going to go ahead and put in the scores, and we have one game to go for the afternoon session, and then 4 more to go tomorrow morning. 5 games in total left from the Crescent City Cup, but Carl Johnson, now 12-3, sits atop this field. We're going to take a little break. We're going to figure out the next matchup, and we'll be back with our final game for the day in just a few minutes. Stay tuned, y'all.